I'm going to be explaining how the Content2Cash system books 3 to 5 calls every single day for our clients, which are typically B2C coaches. Now, obviously, if you're a B2B coach or, you're an agency owner, then obviously you can tailor it to obviously your own different type of style. Um, but this is, mainly for B2C coaches. So without further ado, let's just get into it, right? So just to preface, obviously, the Content2Cash system. The Content2Cash system, to put it simply, it's all about building leverage and predictability, okay? Building leverage and predictability within your sales process as a B2C coach, so that obviously, you can rid yourself of a lot of manual labor and, you can just make your life 10 times easier. And the way that we build leverage is we sell with content, and then we obviously have, your team members convert those people, those prospects into meetings and into new clients, right? And then from there, your team also handles the service delivery and gets you good case studies that you can use in the front of your funnel to where you start attracting even more people, okay? And it's just, a process that works, day in and day out, okay? And it never stops, right? But in terms of acquisition, right? In terms of acquisition, acquiring clients, that's basically what the obviously the focus of today is going to be. So without further ado, I just prefaced it. Let's get into it, right? So in terms of generating attention, step number one, we need to generate attention and drive traffic. How do we do that? Well, in our old funnels, we used to use short form content. However, as of recent, organics become, I guess, really like it's become very saturated, right? And I'm not saying that as an excuse either. It's just it's become very saturated, right? And I believe if you don't have good editors, or you just don't know how to make content, then you'll never blow up a video organically, and there's just no point in making it, right? Therefore, we actually use follow ads to obviously drive traffic to our clients, right? The whole point of a follow ad, obviously, it's in the name. It's to get people that are in your ideal client avatar to follow you, keep tabs on you, absorb your content, and get nurtured over time, and get value from it, implement it, and then one day they'll just obviously they'll convert. Okay. It's more of obviously the indirect value approach, of course, right? So essentially, what will happen is within this follow ad, obviously, you want to call out your ideal client avatar. Then you want to be specific on like their problems, and stuff like that. And then from there, just dig a little bit, provide a little bit of value. Then you want to ask them for the follow to obviously keep up with you, and then kind of redirect them to obviously your content portfolio, right? So from here, once you redirect them to your content portfolio or your front end content portfolio, which will be your short form content, essentially what will happen is they'll obviously start essentially just going through your content and stuff like that. Now, in terms of the depth of your content portfolio, it has to be very, very in depth, right? um I would say 5 to 15 short form videos minimum, right, if you want to start running ads. But yeah, that's probably what I would say. So just trying to make this obviously as in depth as possible. Obviously, the people that have way more in depth portfolios are the ones that have more followers and more clients and are making the most money. So just try to go really in depth on your content portfolio. Okay. Then within your content, obviously you want to use your content as kind of a conversion mechanism as well, right? So at the end of your content, that's where you're going to sprinkle in a little bit of conversion, and you're going to like call to action. You're going to inject the call to action to comment a keyword. Now, essentially, what happens is once they do the call to action and they comment the keyword, an appointment setter starts a conversation. But before we even get into this, we're gonna go over here. So if they don't engage with the conversion mechanism, so after they've seen your follow ad on Instagram, and they've seen your IG reels, and they've watched the full videos through, if they haven't engaged, then you could just redirect them to your YouTube VSLs. Okay. And then once they watch your YouTube videos, obviously these are more in depth, more valuable, and just longer form. And obviously they'll be spending way more time with you, right? Which is obviously better for us because obviously, as we know, the 7 hour rule, it states that it takes 7 hours of, content consumption for somebody to get pre-sold on your product, right? So if you're constantly providing them value, that's implementable and that's, it works in the real world, then obviously, they're going to end up converting someday, right? Especially if they go through the whole 7 hours and they're pre-sold by your stuff, right? Then from here, obviously, once they've seen your Meta follow ad, they've seen your Instagram Reels and all this different type of stuff. You can redirect them with a keyword ad. Now, keyword ad is a conversion mechanism in itself, and essentially the whole point of it is to drive keywords, right? So comment keyword to learn more, right? Then from here, once they comment the keyword, an appointment setter starts a conversation. Then they leverage YouTube content, so your content portfolio, they leverage it to solve the inefficiency. Hence why I always preach to make 5 VSLs on the biggest problems within your clients, within your niche, right? Because they're typically the most 5 that pop up, or the 5 that pop up the most. So obviously you could just knock out a couple of birds with one stone with that, and you could just have your setters, every time they say, oh, this is my biggest problem, just have them pull up a video link, send them the link, and then, oh, there you go, that's your problem solved. And that's very valuable, right? And it sells for you forever. And then from there, once you solve their problem, they'll go through the rest of it. And then when they go through the rest of it, imagine your content portfolio's 7+ hours long. They'll get pre-sold by your product. Okay. Now, obviously, if they're interested in the consultation, then yes, that is a book call. However, if they're not, what happens? Well, it's very simple. You just redirect them to a group, right? There's no really need to fear. You just redirect them to the group simply, right? And obviously, once they opt in, they need to get qualified based on what they do and stuff, whether they have the money and stuff like that, right? And then from there, you accept and you tag them in your pin posts, which I'm going to go more in depth about, and I go more in depth about in my my Facebook group video. So if you want more in depth kind of stuff on obviously the group structure and how to grow, monetize a group, then I recommend you go ahead and check that video out. But you accept and you tag them in the pin post. And then from there, if the prospect engages with the pin post and opts in for the lead magnet that the pin post is about, then, setter starts a conversation. They leverage the content. And if they're interested in the consultation, then yes. However, if they're not interested in the consultation, what happens? Well, it's very simple. If they're not interested in the consultation, then you just get them with engagement posts. You just get them with what I like to call bait, okay? This would be, your 2-step posts, your Trojan horse questions, your value posts. And obviously I talk a lot more about this in my Facebook video, but yeah, you just get them with those. And then once they engage with those and they opt in for an asset, your setter starts a conversation again. And then they leverage content to solve the inefficiency. And if they're interested, then boom, that's a book call. And if not, then it's okay, because they stay in your pipeline forever. You see where I'm trying to get at with this? Even if you don't convert, they'll convert eventually, because they're going to stay in your pipeline forever. Okay. So without further ado, that's pretty much it. Like I said, generate attention with your follow ad. You're basically paying for eyeballs, and they're good eyeballs because Meta has really good targeting when it comes to, or Meta's really good when it comes to targeting your ICA, right? Then from there, you nurture with your front end content, your short form content. You try to convert them off rip by using a call to action at the end of your videos to comment a keyword. If they comment the keyword, setter starts a conversation. If they don't, just redirect them to your YouTube VSLs, let them watch that, and let them kind of let the 7-hour rule kind of play its part. And if once they go through all this, they'll get retargeted by Meta ads that obviously what's it called? That are a conversion mechanism, keyword ads, and they tell them to comment a keyword to learn more. The setter will start a conversation, leverage YouTube, and if they're interested, it's a book call. If not, they just get redirected to the group. And if they engage with the stuff in the group, the setter starts a conversation, leverage the content again to solve their inefficiency. And if they're interested, it's a book call. If they're not, then they just get, they stay in the pipeline, they get nurtured over time. Okay. So that's pretty much it. That's how we sign 3 to 5 or book 3 to 5 calls a day for our clients using the Content2Cash system. Specifically, like I said, tailored for B2C coaches. So if you're a B2C coach and you're watching this, you're having trouble with your acquisition and you have some capital to work with, then book a call with me in the description. Obviously, if you want this implemented, obviously the whole point of the Content2Cash system is to build predictability and leverage. And that's what we do, right? We wouldn't book 3 to 5 calls a day if we didn't implement leverage and predictability. Okay. So that being said, book a call. I'll see you there. And if not, you don't want to book a call, go through the rest of my content. I guarantee you'll become a client one day. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Implement this, and yeah, bye-bye.